Oh, I hate that sound. Welcome to winter. A snowy, icy storm system is heading our way, and it means the first white Christmas in our area in years. News 10 has live team coverage starting now. Good afternoon, I'm Larry Menti.
And I'm Kathy Egan, in for Renee Chenault.
And our top story on News 10 first at 4, the Delaware Valley is about to have a white Christmas. And just minutes ago, a winter storm warning was issued for parts of the Philadelphia area. Here's a live view from 800 feet above Center City, Philadelphia, and our Skywatch camera. If you look very closely, you can see the flakes falling very closely. The first flurries ahead of the major part of the storm system. And check out what's been happening down south. Icy roads in Knoxville, Tennessee sparked several accidents and made the morning commute a nightmare. Numerous power outages in Jackson, Mississippi after an ice storm downed power lines and trees. And some bank employees in Corpus Christi, Texas weren't the only ones trying to stay out of the cold. They also had a few bats trying to escape the bitter weather. Here at home, PennDOT is gearing up for whatever we may get. News 10 at the Hunting Park Salt Yard in Philadelphia. You can see tractors taking the salt and loading the trucks that could be on your streets when you wake up tomorrow morning. And already, the winter blast is resulting in warnings. The city of Wilmington has issued a code purple alert because of the frigid weather. That means the Salvation Army will open an emergency shelter for anyone left out in the cold.
We have live team coverage of the approaching snow. Meteorologist John Valeris and Glenn Hurricane Schwartz are closely tracking the snow. And News 10's Christine Perez is live in South Jersey where the most snow could fall. Let's begin with John and the latest from Earthwatch.
Yeah, we got our first winter storm, and we name them here, exclusive to Earthwatch Weather Center. The first one takes on the name Albert. Let's check it out. Go to radar, and we're going to see some flurries showing up shortly. There it is, Winter Storm Albert, the first one of the season. Doppler radar picking up just some snow flurries right now. The evening rush is going to be okay. Every once in a while, you're going to see a flake, but the steady stuff is still yet to come. Now, wide view on the Earthwatch radar, you can see some of the heavier precipitation really stretched across the Tennessee Valley from Memphis, Tennessee right now all the way to Raleigh, where some moderate rain is falling down that way, and some ice. Light snow, ice, and rain currently moving this way. Most of this storm will be snow, although it may feature a little mixing along southern Jersey and central Delaware in the form of ice, and that may help to keep the accumulations down just a little bit. So the steady snow should be arriving somewhere between 9 and midnight with Albert. The brunt will be tomorrow morning on Christmas Eve between 6 a.m. and noon. Great news for the kids, bad news if you still have some travel plans. It ends by midday as some flurries, and the evening should be dry and simply cloudy and cold, and that snow is going to stick around because temperatures are going to be cold enough. Now, how much snow? That is the question right now. So far, the Poconos should get 1 to 2 inches. They'll be on the northern fringe. In the Lehigh Valley, Reading, Allentown, Doylestown, just on the edge in Princeton, 2 to 3 inches of snow. Philadelphia, Cherry Hill, Wilmington, Lakehurst, Hamilton, you're all under a winter storm warning, so 3 to 4 inches of snow likely by the time it really tapers off by early afternoon on Thursday. And the heaviest amounts, 3 to 6 inches from Dover across southern Jersey, Millville, Atlantic City, Ocean City, Stone Harbor, 3 to 6, with the possibility of some mixing with ice. Now I have standing by Glenn Hurricane Schwartz. And last year we had the El Nino season, a very mild winter. This year it's La Nina, and this is quite typical of a La Nina winter storm.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we went into the winter forecast a couple of months ago, and this is a typical La Nina type storm system where you have the cold air in southern Canada and the northern plain states, which we did not have last year, and then the weak little storms ride along a fast-moving jet stream and give us a lot of little storms. So this is what we could expect in a La Nina winter. Very variable weather. We'll have more warm spells coming and more cold spells. More cold outbreaks than we've seen over the last couple of winters. This is one of them. More days of snow than we've seen in the last couple of winters. Of course, that wouldn't be hard. And fewer nor'easters. That means fewer chances of the big 10-inch plus snowstorms. So don't necessarily count on a repeat of the blizzard of '96. Now, we here at News 10 will be naming the big snowstorms all winter long. there are two rules that we follow before naming a storm. First of all, there's got to be some wintry weather in at least part of the News 10 viewing area expected. And rule number two is that any named storm must have a low pressure center somewhere. In this case, it's a very, very weak one, so we can track its movement from one day to the next. So this first winter storm will be called Albert. We'll be naming the big storms all winter long so you can keep track of the storms, and there may even be cases where there will be more than one storm on the map at any given time. That's why the Hurricane Center does it, so you can follow different storms. Live in the Net Center, I'm Glenn Schwartz, News 10. Larry and Kathy.
Thanks, Glenn. As you just saw, the further south you live, the more snow you'll probably get from this system. People all over the Delaware Valley are getting ready for Winter Storm Albert. Our team coverage continues now with News 10's Christine Perez, live in Vineland, New Jersey. What are folks up to there, Christine?
Well, Kathy, it is cold out here. You can see it in my breath. Here you go. It is very, very cold. We're expecting between 3 to 6 inches of snow here. We've seen flurries throughout the day. Already, the temperature is 35 degrees, about 3 degrees above the freezing level. As you can imagine, folks here are scrambling to prepare for the first snowfall in more than 2 years. At the Vineland Public Works Department, dozens of trucks and snowplows are ready to go. So are the workers who haven't seen a real snowfall in years. What's going through your mind now?
Hopefully just to be safe out there and not, not have any problems and get the work done and get the road safe for the people to drive on.
We have salt and sand here stored from previous years that we didn't use. It's been covered the best way we could. The sand came in last year. I have on order another 1,000 ton if I need it.
It's the same story in hardware stores across South Jersey. Merchandise like shovels and snow blowers stored away for years. At this hardware store in Westmont, they're saying, let it snow, so they can finally do some winter business.
The threat of snow, we're starting to sell some shovels and some salt and snow-related items, which is good for us because we've been putting that away for 3 years in a row now. Snow blowers, we've got a lot of them and they're ready to go. We haven't sold many yet, though.
Despite the falling temperatures, it seems most people we've talked to don't believe the snow is really coming.
I'm not ready for snow.
It's supposed to snow tonight.
It is? Oh, I didn't even know.
Are you going to get some stuff? Are you ready to go?
Now, hopefully my husband has that all prepared.
Both New Jersey Department of Transportation and the New Jersey Turnpike Authority have hundreds of trucks on standby for tonight. We're live in Vineland, New Jersey. Christine Perez, News 10.
Anything at all yet, Christine? Do you see flurries or?
Well, Larry, I saw flurries about an hour ago, but right now I've seen nothing. But the temperature keeps dropping, so it's getting very, very chilly out here.
Christine, I heard a lot of people boo-hooing it today, too, but I think that's because we've gotten off so easy over the last couple of years.
Yeah, a lot of people are telling me they've forgotten how to drive in the snow, so we've been pretty spoiled, and I'm actually not looking forward to it either, especially with Christmas tomorrow, and you're going to get a lot of people traveling on the roads.
Yeah. Thanks, Christine.
Yeah, Christine, hold on to your hat. It's coming.
We want to let you know tomorrow we'll have special coverage of the wintry weather. It all begins early in the morning on News 10 today and continues with updates on the hour throughout the day tomorrow.
Besides the Delaware Valley, the rest of the country is also feeling the effects of this winter blast.
In some locations, it's downright dangerous. We begin our national coverage in Austin, Texas. 2 people were killed in pileups on Interstate 35 there. 2 collisions and 58 vehicles were involved. Police say they responded to at least 76 accidents, all between midnight and early this morning. Authorities are warning drivers to use extra caution.
You're not used to the ice there, and even further north, it's a similar story in Dallas. The freezing drizzle and rain is causing big problems for drivers. In fact, there were fender benders all over the place, even hours before the morning rush began.
Now we move north and east to Memphis, Tennessee. Slick roads and bad driving conditions are causing big problems. People there are getting a mixed bag: rain, freezing rain, and sleet. It's making road conditions tricky, as the driver of this semi would likely agree. That is the latest on Winter Storm Albert. For now, stay with News 10 for continuing coverage of our first big winter blast.
A mother and her 2 sons are safe today. They've been found 2 days after they disappeared from their northeast Philadelphia home. A motorist driving by a motel.
Because we know working outside isn't a picnic, unless it's lunchtime. Whoa. Leading away outdoors.
Walls Quality Outerwear is available at a retailer near you.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Sleet and freezing rain continue in Middle Tennessee tonight. How long is it going to last, and what does it mean for holiday travelers? I'm Jim Cantori here in Nashville. We'll let you know in just a moment right here on Weather Center.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Weather Center. I'm Janetta Jones. As holiday travelers hit the road, they're running into problems with icing across the South. A major winter storm is affecting places from Texas to the Carolinas. And by tomorrow, some of you in the Northeast could be seeing snow from the same system. Dennis Smith has the latest from the Forecast Center. Dennis?
Thank you, Janetta. As we continue to focus in on this storm, it's digging its heels into the southeast, but we will be tracking to the northeast. We'll be talking about snow for places like D.C., Philly, and even all the way back through Baltimore and Richmond as the afternoon and evening wears on. Let's set the stage, let you know what's going on. The cold Arctic air is in place. It has been digging its heels in across the country, even moving all the way down into areas of the southeast, right down in here. Oh, we'll get that pointer all lined up. Meanwhile, it looks like the coldest air continues to be all the way back down into Texas and areas of Florida, northern Florida now, and the freezing rain is pretty well outlined across the sections of the deep south that will continue to sag on southward. The freezing line, the best I could tell from observations I've taken over the last hour from the regular reporting stations, dips on down to around the Charlotte area, north of Atlanta, north of Birmingham, curls on down just north of Jackson. In fact, Jackson should be getting some freezing rain later on tonight, and then cutting just north of Houston into San Antonio. That pretty well represents the freezing line right now, and will continue to sag on a little bit southward as the evening progresses. Interstates that may be impacted by freezing rain, sleet, or snow. Adverse winter type conditions in Texas, interstates 20, interstates 45 and 35. In Louisiana, across northern Louisiana, interstate 20. From Jackson to Memphis, Interstate 55, from Birmingham to Louisville, Interstate 65, Interstate 75 up through Knoxville, north of Atlanta. And then, as we'll find out as the evening progresses, even Interstates 81, the Beltway, 95, 85 will all be impacted. If not now, they will be later on tonight. One area that's been impacted by the ice and snow has been around Memphis, Tennessee. They've had the freezing rain and sleet all day long. Temperatures staying in the middle 20s. That stuff staying on the ground and has no plans of disappearing anytime soon. An ice storm warning remains in effect, as well as a winter storm watch posted for tomorrow, with the anticipation of some more light freezing precipitation in western Tennessee. Our own Jim Cantori has been stationed in Middle Tennessee, observing the weather. And Jim, it looks like traffic is moving very slowly behind you.
It has been all day, Dennis, ever since we got out here this morning, and now we're getting another dose of some sleet, which is coming down. We're kind of getting nickel and dime with this sleet now since this afternoon. Sometimes it doesn't do much at all, but sometimes it comes down again, and that is only causing more problems. And of course, the real problem is the temperatures are only in the mid-20s. so they're not getting above freezing, and road crews are having a very tough time getting this stuff off the road. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We're going to zoom down to this exit sign. We're right here on I-40, the Briley Parkway exit. The headlights that you may have seen before Blair zoomed in were the traffic that is heading off to the east, away from the city. And you can see how this stuff is just caked on the roads. And I mean, you can come by with a scraper all day. That's just the kind of stuff that is not leaving anytime soon. What really helps that is a good dose of sunshine and a heavy dose of salt. And we just don't have that. And what's unfortunate is if people come roaring off that exit, sometimes you'll hear an occasional skid because they're going just a little bit too fast. And that's what we're worried about, folks. Even though things may have improved a little bit on the roads because they've been out and scraping and salting, don't be fooled. It is very, very slippery. We've still got a lot of accidents around town. Interstates are moving very slow, as you see I-40 behind me here. And we don't have any closures on the interstates, thank goodness. But Interstate 24, east and west of Nashville, is in single-lane operation south of the city. And that's the way they're expecting it to stay as they go on through the night tonight. Dennis, sleet's coming down pretty good here, and that's only going to add more ice onto the roads. So, folks, you may want to hold off till tomorrow, I should say, if you can, because it's going to be a very slippery go, and now the sun's starting to set. So it's going to be dark before not too long. Back to you, Dennis.
Okay, thank you very much, Jim. Keeping us updated on the travel scenario in and around Nashville, Tennessee, and good advice on if you can adjust some of your plans, please do. It could be a lot more on the safe side for your travel needs. Latest radar illustrating where some of that precipitation is now snowing around Dulles Airport in Washington, snowing around Willow Grove near the Philadelphia area. That precipitation continues to line up down into areas of Virginia, looking for freezing drizzle, sleet, and some snow in those locations. We'll talk about your forecast on that in just a second. It looks like Raleigh-Durham rain, but Charlotte freezing drizzle, Asheville, Boone, Roanoke, freezing drizzle, Knoxville, similar story. Some snow around Charleston right now. Atlanta and Birmingham, the rains have temporarily ended, but still sleet and snow around Nashville, freezing drizzle around Memphis as well. That will continue to move on towards the northeast as the afternoon and evening wears on. Farther to the south, some more freezing drizzle around Shreveport, Monroe, Louisiana. Lake Charles is reporting some rain right now as they're in a little bit milder temperatures. And farther to the west, a few spits of freezing rain. Freezing rain outlined in orange will continue to expand on north and eastward this evening. It looks like a tough go across much of the southeast and Tennessee Valley area, even by tomorrow morning, marching on up into West Virginia and Virginia. Our forecast talks about maybe a couple of inches in D.C. on the western side, especially Philly. Same story as you try to make a commute on Christmas Eve. Freezing drizzle in places like Richmond.